We have reached the final 3 Derby profiles, and I am in crunch mode. Another day, another Derby profile. Today's episode's going to be on Zozos. Let's go, Zos. I'm not sorry. First up, we got stats, and they're very similar to Charge It in the sense that they've ran 3 times in their career with only 1 attempt in stakes company, and that attempt was a second place finish against a much more experienced and very widely talked about horse. For Charge It was White Abarrio, for Zozos it was Epicenter. The only difference being that Zozos has 2 victories instead of just 1, and total earnings of $291,200. For his major race, I have alluded to it before, it was just a second in the Louisiana Derby. A very nice performance to say the least, and the reason why he even has a chance to run in the Kentucky Derby at all. For running style, we don't got a lot per se, just 3 races, but what we can generally assess is that Zozos is a stalker that's more up front. He likes to stay near the leaders, either right behind them, or as shown in the Louisiana Derby, he can take the lead if he wants. However, I don't think he'll have enough speed to catch Summers Tomorrow or Classic Causeway, so we're probably going to see him more or less in second or third if he gets the ideal trip. But always remember Murphy's Law when we're talking about the Kentucky Derby. For highest speed figure, you're probably going to hear something very similar to the last episode, because Zozos' highest speed figure, just like Ethereal Road's, is a 94, and it was in his last start, which is quite interesting to think about, because Zozos is a very well-respected Derby pick at the moment. A lot of people like him. However, everyone's tossing out Ethereal Road. Ironically, though, on Equibase, they have the same speed figure, so kinda goes to show you something. But with all that covered, it's time for the real meat of the Derby profiles, and you know what time it is. The strengths and weaknesses of Zozos. For strengths, we got quite a few. For one, even though he has a sprinter's pedigree, he has proven that he can handle 2 turns, so he has a lot of natural speed and is able to carry it for a long period of time, as shown in both the Louisiana Derby and his second start. Just like with Ethereal Road, he is improving with every race, with each speed figure being faster than the last. And if you had to have one Derby horse beat you before the Kentucky Derby, Epicenter ain't a bad choice, especially considering that that was his graded stakes debut. That ain't a bad way to start, losing to one of the Derby favorites and still outfinishing the rest of the competition. But with all that covered, there still are a few flaws to talk about. For one, the Louisiana Derby hasn't really come back as great as you would have hoped, with only Pioneer of Medina coming back to finish well enough to be in the Derby, but that was just on the strength of his third in the Louisiana Derby alone. Every horse that has currently run back from the Louisiana Derby, which is Rattle and Roll and Call Me Midnight, finished no better than 6th in their respective Derby preps, so that might be a little concerning. As well as that, Zozos does have to deal with the Apollo curse, as any other horse who hasn't raced at age 2 and runs in the Kentucky Derby has to, and that generally bleeds over into the fact that 3 races isn't really enough to truly figure out a horse, so his light experience might lead to some unpredictability, but I think that's a bit of a stretch. He doesn't seem to have too many crazy quirks to figure out like, say, Charge It. He's a very generally well-reserved horse and a perfect sort of Derby placer, akin to Barber Road. Game, consistent, and very fast, I'd give Zozos a B+ grade. And with that, hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you guys next time.